1% of dudes rapping, they ain't nice as me. 98% ain't live the same type of life as me. The judge gave me life and then they sent me where the life is be. That level 4 with depth and vice, the type of stuff they like to see. Two choices, fight or flee. I refuse to die a chump. I never been a mark, but damn, it's scary when that riot jump. I seen dudes cry, get pumped, and some sexually brutalized. Knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5 year-long racial fights when homie all you do is ride. Lonely days and nights up in a hole causing suicide. From the moment you arrive, you see the Mexican mafia, AB skinheads with big giant swastikas, pro-black philosophers, the BGF, the Kumi, and Muslims who will murk you from the nation to the Sunni. That MS was loony, quick to ride up on they rival. Even Christians went to church, hide knives up in a Bible. Political and tribal, the Crips and Damus, the Long Beach, the Hubs and the Dubs and the Grooves, the IE, the Bakersfield, the Dago Pyrus, the hustlers quick to roll, the gangsters don't move. Whatever click you choose.
This video was sponsored by Mitchell Law Firm. If you have a record or you happen to know somebody who has a record and that record is hindering or impeding the quality of employment they're able to obtain, I strongly suggest you seek the law services of Farrah Mitchell. Miss Mitchell is a criminal law attorney who specializes in record expungement. Her services are nationwide, meaning regardless of whatever state you may have been convicted in, she still may be able to help. She also offers various other legal services at an extremely reasonable rate. She can be contacted at 980-329-7568. So once again, I strongly suggest you contact her, get your record expunged, and get your life back in order. Now let's hop right up into this story. This story takes place around 1993. Somewhere around the month of June, I was at a party, an altercation ensued, a lot of gunshots was fired, and a day or two later, I was charged with being the culprit in that shooting, and I was wanted for 3 attempted murders. So, being the criminal that I was back in those days, I'm young-minded. Man, I got on the run, you know what I'm saying? Turned myself in. I don't know who do that, but it wasn't me, right? So I came down from Billings, Montana, because if you guys have been keeping up with some of my stories, at that time, I was living in Billings, Montana. I came down to California to do some things, conduct a little business, got caught up at a house party. So I went back to Montana. Like I said earlier, too, being young and dumb, it doesn't even realize to me that going back to Montana is really not a good solution, because at that time, I'm already on probation in Montana because my house had got raided in a drug raid, right? So I go back out there, had to check in with my probation officer. I believe it was twice a month back then. So I get back in town. I've been back in town about 2 or 3 days, and I'm riding around, nothing ain't really happened. So I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe they ain't really tripping on me or whatever, right? But then one day, I happened to get pulled over by the police. I said to myself, I just do not feel like going to jail today. So initially, when I got pulled over, it was just one police car. So he pulled me out the car. He took me to the back of the car, started patting me down, and like I said, it's in my mind, man, I'm just not going to jail today. I just don't feel like it. Now, around the time I was about 20 years old, I'm 5'9", I'm about 140 pounds, I'm fast as lightning. Now, the day before, I had messed up my leg. I had jumped down some stairs in my apartment and messed my leg up. But when you young, you heal fast. Plus, I got that adrenaline going. You know what I'm saying? They talk about 3 attempted murders, and I ain't just trying to do it. So while he patting me down, next thing he know, pew, I get up. I start running, you know what I'm saying? I'm out of there like last year. I take off running. I run across the street. Just so happened, luckily for me, I was in the vicinity of this house of this guy that I knew by the name of PC. PC was a pimp out there in Billings. So the police, initially I run past the police. Initially I'm taking off running. I run past PC's house because I don't know how close the police is and if he's in that, if I'm still in his sight. So I run through his backyard, and actually PC lived in a back house of somebody with a bigger house. So as I'm running through the backyard, I noticed their garage is open. I run up in the garage, man, I trip over everything. Pogo sticks, lawnmowers, bicycles, fishing poles. I'm making so much noise back there. I'm thinking, I just know he gonna hear me back here. Soon as I settle down, I hear the police steps. He running past me. Pew! He run past me. So I look, I peek out. Then I double back and go to PC's house. PC happened to live in a basement apartment too. So I run down the steps. The door was open. So I turned the knob and going on. He's like, chill, what's up? I said, the police is chasing me. The police is chasing me. He said, go back there and hide. He said, go back there and hide, man. So I went in the back room. I laid down, and like I said, he's in a basement apartment, so I can look out the window. Now I see it's a whole lot of police out there walking around. I hear the police ask these kids, "Hey, did you see a dude run through here?" I'm just swearing I'm gonna hear the kids say, "Oh yeah, he ran up in there," but they didn't say nothing. They didn't know where I went. So later that day, I had my partner come pick me up, take me to my girlfriend's house at the time. He came and picked me up like maybe about 7 in the morning and took me to Denver. Maybe about 10 o'clock, they run up in my girlfriend's house and raid them. But you know what? You gotta be quicker than that, because I wasn't there, you know what I'm saying? I'm halfway to Denver. I go out to Denver, I hang around, I get into a few escapades out there. But so long story short, now I'm kind of living life on the run. I'm going back and forth to Bannon still. I'm still hustling out in Billings. I'm still doing my thing out there. I'm not necessarily going back, but I'm hustling. I'm making it happen. Just know that, right? At the time, I had one of my favorite cars, man. It was a 7.8 Cutlass. A lot of people used to call it the Chill Mobile, man. I had a real nice silver paint job on it. I had a powder blue Phantom on it. I had some laces, some nice rims and tires on it, man. I definitely couldn't be riding around with that thing on it. Matter of fact, I had some blue writing in the window. It said "Chill," on the back of the window. So it was really like a car that was obvious. So I ended up taking the car to a paint shop in San Bernardino known as Evans. And even though I really didn't want to get the car painted, it dawned on me that my freedom was more important. I really like those colors, and actually, I like that powder blue Phantom that I had on the car. I had seen my partner, man, a long time ago. He was probably about 16. My boy Bumby from Gateway in Palm Springs, man. He had a Cadillac. I believe his Cadillac was white with a powder blue Phantom. So I went with silver and a powder blue Phantom. But I really like those colors. I chose to get the car painted black bronze with gold metal flake and change the powder blue Phantom to black. That may be, if I could find a picture, that may be the car right there in the thumbnail, right? So I ended up getting the car painted. I believe it ran me somewhere around $2,500 or whatever. So to my recollection, it took a few weeks for the car to get painted. Now, somewhere around that time, I had also moved back to the city of Bannon, California. My grandmother had a house, and I moved into her house unbeknownst to a whole lot of people, which was very dangerous due to the fact that my original crime happened in Bannon, and Bannon was an extremely small city, especially back then. Everybody knew everybody. So what I would do was pretty much just stay in the house, especially during the day. At night I'd get out, I'd go to creeping, I'd go doing this, I'd go doing that. I had a few trusted homeboys that I let know that I was living there, maybe about 3 homies, but for the most part, I didn't let nobody know, right? So eventually, my car is done, it gets out the paint shop, and also at some point in time, I ended up moving to the city of Fontana, which is a city in California. Now, one day, me and my homie, whose name will go unmentioned, are riding around in the city of San Bernardino in my car. Now, this is maybe about 7 or 8 months after the shooting. Keep in mind, so I'm still on the run for these 3 attempted murders. And my homie is on the run for a parole violation. He had got out of prison and didn't report, or something along those lines. I can't exactly remember which, right? So we riding through the city of San Bernardino, we cruising around, which I'm really not familiar with at that time. He was a little bit more familiar than I was. So, we hitting certain corners, we going here, we going there, we just riding and stuff. Now, he got a gun on him, and I got a gun on me as well. Now, as we turn down this one street and we cruising down the street, I happen to look to my right, and you had possibly anywhere from like 6 to 10, black dudes sitting on a wall just chilling. Now, they appear to be like, in their 30s to about their 50s. They just out there chilling, talking, They may have even been playing dominoes or whatever. They hanging out. So now, as we cruising by, the homie that's with me, and I can't remember exactly what name he used, but let's just say his name was Jones, right? He said, "Oh, man, is that Jones? Is that Jones?" So I'm, now we driving. I done drove past him. He said, "Hey, homie, hit a U-turn, homie, turn right here, or whatever." So I busted a little left. I think I pulled up into a driveway. I came back. We slid back down and passed it again. So now he looking again. He's staring intently out the window. He like, "Oh, hell yeah, man, that's Jones, man. That's Jones. That's that old, that's that old sucker, man, that works at Chino." Now, Chino is a state prison in California, and it's probably about 20-25 minutes from San Bernardino. Now, keep in mind, I had never been to prison. He was a few years older than me, and he had been to prison 3 or 4 times possibly by then. So he goes on to explain how this guard was one of them guards who basically was extremely disrespectful. He would come search your cell, dog you, disrespect your property, things of that nature, right? And now as he's explaining all this stuff to me, of course, we're getting further and further away from where the dudes is hanging at. So once again, he tell me, hey man, turn right here, turn right here and go back around the corner. So I go back around the corner. Now as we going up, he's saying, hey, listen, man, yeah, I've been waiting to catch this dude, man. I'm supposed to lay this dude down. I said, you supposed to what? He said, oh man, I'm supposed to lay this dude down. So I'm thinking, man, you supposed to jump out here and pop a guard right in front of everybody. So he telling me, yeah, man, listen. When we go past, just pull over. I'ma jump out the car. I'ma go lay him down and I'm just hop back in the car and bounce. So when he tell me all that, I turn to him. I say, hey, man, listen, you crazier than two naked men in the same bed. Woo, I hurry up and hit the gas. He said, hey, man, what you doing? What you doing? I said, man, you not just to pop no guard up out of my car, man. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I just got my car painted and stuff. I said, shit, man, paint jobs is expensive. I hit the gas fast. I said, hey, matter of fact, man, where the hell you going, man? Let me take you home. You know what I'm saying? He said, oh, man, chill. You ain't, man, let's get it. I said, man, we ain't doing nothing, man. Have you lost your mind? And I had to hurry up and take him to the house, man, and tell him, hey, listen, man, I catch up with you later, you know what I'm saying? And like I told y'all, man, keep in mind, I hadn't been to prison yet, right? So at that time, it's 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like I said, you got dudes hanging out, chilling, talking, playing dominoes or whatever. I got this nice, fresh paint job. My car is black bronze with gold metal flake. Man, paint jobs is expensive. I ain't supposed to keep paying to get this thing repainted. And you definitely not supposed to be popping no guard up out of my car, right? But now to keep it 100, like I told y'all, I had never been to the pen, right? Had I been to the pen, there is a good chance I would have pulled on over and let him pop that dude. Reason being is I have definitely ran across some extremely, extremely disrespectful guards, man. Now keep in mind, right? We're in prison. When we're in prison, for the most part, you have all your worldly possessions, or at least everything that's extremely important to you at that time, in your cell. You have a lot of guards who would make it a habit or a practice to, when they felt that you done something that you shouldn't have done, instead of just writing you up as they should have and gave you a 115, they would come in your cell and disrespect your cell. Sometimes throw your pictures on the ground, walk on your mattress, all types of stuff. Search your celly stuff and don't search your stuff in an attempt to try to make you guys have problems with each other. Sometimes they search your celly stuff and your stuff and just throw everything on the floor together. You guys' boxers, underwear, clothes, snatch stuff down in your cell, clothing lines and all type of stuff, right? But due to the fact that I hadn't been to the pen yet, I definitely couldn't empathize with his emotions, man. And that day, I definitely wouldn't lay in no guard down. But anyway, you already know what it is, man. It's your boy 16 to life. Resume normal program.